Hi, everyone. Welcome to our voter questioning session with Vicky, Dalton, the County Auditor. I'm Rosie.
And I'm Summer. We are student ambassadors with the League of Women Voters of the Spokane area.
Yeah, and we're here talking with the Spokane County Auditor, Vicky Dalton, to get the scoop on information for the upcoming 2020 elections. First, the August 4th primary, and then the November 3rd general elections.
I am glad to be here, and I'm looking forward to the questions that you have.
Awesome. So first of all, as students, we often hear others saying that voting isn't important, like our voices don't matter. So why should we as students vote?
The reality is your voice does matter. Every single voter has a voice, and the vote is how they express their voice. Your vote decides who's going to lead the government, who's going to make decisions, who's going to impact your life every day. And government isn't just one level. This impacts the federal government and its policies, state government and its policies, and every local government, including counties, cities, school districts, fire districts, even water districts. So every vote has an impact, and it's important that you make your impact.
I hear voting is a process. How do I get started?
Voting is definitely a process. The very first thing you have to do is register to vote. And it's actually a lot easier in the state of Washington now than it ever has been. You can register online if you have a Washington State driver's license or Washington State ID card. You're already in the driver's licensing system. We just pull that information over into the voter registration system. You can do that by going to voter.votewa.gov. If you don't have a Washington State driver's license, you can just go online, print the form out, fill it out, send it in. And of course, there's always voter registration drives, which are very popular among the student population.
Yeah, and so I know that there are deadlines for voting. So what if I decide in the last week that I want to vote? What should I do?
Well, you can register online up until 8 days prior to Election Day. And also that same deadline, you can fill the form out and get it to us. We have to receive it 8 days prior to Election Day. If you procrastinate, and we don't want you procrastinating, but if you do, all the way up through Election Day till 8 p.m. election night, you can walk in, register to vote, and get your ballot right there. So Washington is now what's called a same-day registration state. So there are no more blackout periods or times when voters are locked out of registering to vote.
Can I register before I'm 18?
Absolutely. So Washington allows 16 and 17-year-olds to pre-register, and we hold that registration until you are 18 years of age. There will be a time when 17-year-olds can vote in a primary, but that's going to be a few years down the road. So right now you still have to be 18 to vote, but you can register when you're 16 or 17 years old.
If I register when I am 17, how do I know that I'm really in the system?
So your information is not public information until you're 18 years of age. So the best way to do it is just to call us and double check with us so that you can see that you actually are registered to vote. And then when you turn 18, you automatically are a registered voter, and you'll start receiving your voter registration card as well as your ballots. And the biggest thing is keep us informed of any address changes. That is our biggest issue. Over 20% of voters move or change information in some way and then forget to tell us. Let us know. We need your mailing address so that we can keep getting your ballots to you.
So how do I get my ballot exactly?
So the best way to get your ballot is make sure that you have a mailing address that's permanent. So if you go to college, you can either have your ballot sent to, let's say, your parents' address, or you can have it sent to an address at the college that you're at. That may not always be the best idea, however. So if it's not going to be workable for you to get your ballot at college, we can arrange for you to go online and walk you through the steps of how to print your ballot directly from online. We do prefer that people vote their mailed ballot, the ones we mailed to them, rather than the online ballot, but we want to make sure voters have the opportunity to cast a ballot.
Okay, so in the situation that my ballot doesn't arrive for whatever reason, what should I do? And like, what if I leave town and I can't access my ballot?
So if you don't receive your ballot through the mail within about 2 weeks prior to Election Day, we really want a phone call from you. We want to know why. Or you can email us at elections@SpokaneCounty.org, because we want to figure out what didn't happen. Then we'll walk you through the steps of either sending you a new ballot or walk you through how to print the ballot from online. But no matter what, we want to make sure that you have a ballot to vote and that you can get it back to us in time for it to be counted.
Going on to more of the voting specifics with the ballot, how do I know like how I should vote? And do I have to vote on every single thing in the ballot for it to be counted?
So the good news is you don't have to mark every race. If you aren't comfortable with a particular race or particular set of candidates, you can just leave that race and go on. It will be counted as a blank for that race. To get information about the candidates, there's quite a bit of information out there, quite a few resources. You can go to our online voters guide, which is a brief statement about every candidate and contact information for those candidates. And again, that's at voter.votewa.gov. And by putting your information in, your name, birth date, it will pull up your exact ballot so that you can just see those races that you are able to vote on. There's also other information out there that's nonpartisan, such as the League of Women Voters. So that's another area that we recommend people go to get information about candidates.
So once I mark my ballot, how do I get it to be counted?
So return that ballot back to us by the deadlines. If you're going to mail it, you have to have a postmark by Election Day, which means don't wait until 5 o'clock to drop it off at the post office. Get it in early. And the good news is, thanks to college students, it's now prepaid postage. You don't have to worry about finding a stamp. That's a great thing. If you're in the area, you can drop it off in a white drop box in front of county libraries, city libraries, and some city halls. Just make sure that you get it in by 8 o'clock. That is a firm cutoff. If you happen to find yourself in Washington State but not in your home county, you can look around for a drop box at any of the other counties and just make sure you get it in that drop box by 8 o'clock, and that county will get it to us.
What do I do if I forget to sign the envelope?
So about 1% of the voters who return a ballot to us forget to sign their envelope, and that signature is so important because that's how we make sure it's your ballot. We check every single one of those signatures against what we have on file. So if you forget to sign, you're going to receive a letter or possibly a phone call from us if we have your phone number. Just follow the instructions in the letter and you'll be able to do a cure of your signature so that we can count your votes.
Is there anything else that you think is important for voters to know?
I want to really stress how important your vote is. Your vote does matter. And especially here in Spokane County, we have so many races that have come down to just 1 or 2 votes have made the difference. We've even had ties where we've had to shake our milk bottle and have a number roll out to break that tie and determine who's going to be the winner. And one more thing I'd like to stress, especially to the younger voters, those of you who are under 26, your signatures change. So please make sure you keep us posted on your addresses so that we can mail you your ballot. And between 26 and 30, you're probably going to get a letter from us saying that your signature doesn't match and we need your new signature.
Okay, wonderful. All right, thank you so much. It doesn't, I guess, once these questions are answered, it doesn't seem that voting is much of a confusing process after all. So thank you so much for being here with us today and answering these questions.
Thank
And
you. It's been a
vote.
pleasure.